Hey everyone, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering Arena Standard Best of One video. Today we are piloting some Mono Red Burn, the scourge of the ladder right now. Let's go through the deck really quickly. We've got plenty of ways to deal with our opponents early on. Monsatery Swiftspear, Phoenix Chick, Bloodthirsty Adversary, and Feldon all looking to go in and hit early. Part of Mono Red is knowing when to get rid of opponent's creatures, and we've got 10 burn spells to deal with the opponent's board or go to their face. 4 Play with Fire, 4 Lightning Strike, 2 Obliterating Bolts. Then it's about just giving ourselves some extra reach. Kumano puts in some nice chip damage. Reckless Impulse helps us dig further into our deck, and Mechanized Warfare just puts us over the top. I think 2 copies is about right, and then the coup de grace is served in the form of 2 Thundering Raiju, 3 Shivan Devastators. We only play 21 land, 3 Mishra's Foundry. You can really play 2 and then go 18 mountains. Your mileage may vary on that. I'm going with 3 for now, simply because it's nice to sort of draw one. Remember, with the way Mechanized Warfare is worded, the Mishra's Foundry will also deal 1 extra damage. It will often win you the game, but you can find yourself getting frustrated by the fact you don't have access to red mana. That is a real thing that happens, so just be aware of that. The one glaring omission from this deck is End the Festivities. I find that outside of the Mono Red matchup, for End the Festivities is a bit of a dead card, but don't be surprised if we end up losing to a few End the Festivities today in the mirror. That's sort of what you're sacrificing in order to get more power for the rest of the meta. Let's get into the games. The bane of the red deck. Going second. We're going to keep this. Phoenix Chick into Phoenix Chick is a nice opener. Would rather have Monastery Swiftspear. Brushland. Yaha. Didn't really want to see a land on our first draw, but it is what it is. Might have to use our lightning strikes fairly liberally here. Generous Visitor is a problem, as is the... well, I was going to say the inevitable turn 2 Kamiya Transient, but that didn't happen. We don't really have any ways of dealing with Circle of Confinement, so sad times, but I am just going to deal with this Generous Visitor while we can before it sort of gets, 3 mana, 3 power, 4 power. Catilda, also have a way of dealing with this. I am going to play the Kumano. Got a Lightning Strike here. Next turn, we will we'll want to get a counter on the Phoenix Chick, because, 2/2 flying is useful. Hallowed Haunting is a problem. Mishko's Reign of Truth. Okay. Double Phoenix Chick. Nice. Shockingly, not going to say no to that. Down to 12. The real problem is if they manage to get Catilda's second Circle of Confinement, Jesus. Catilda's Disturb. That's basically going to be a game over for us. We are, however, going to put out the Mechanized Warfare. Down to 4. We do have Lethal in the air. This doesn't have reach, so with Mechanized Warfare, we do have 5 damage coming in through the air. Yeah, these Circle of Confinements were good for them. There's a third one. As is tradition at this point. There's another Michiko's Reign of Truth. The good news is, though, is that we've got Mishra's Foundry. There's a backup one, just in case. Remember to activate the correct Mishra's Foundry as well. And we can also tap this to give this Mishra's Foundry +1/+1. Just gonna do it, just to showcase. There we go. Opponent's going first. Not the greatest hand in the world. If we put down the Shivan Devastator, it will just be a 2/2. For educational purposes, we're going to keep this hand and just find out what really goes on. But I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. Looks like our turn 2 play here will just be a second Kumano. Yeah, I am going to have to deal with that Tenacious Underdog. That is an awful, awful, awful draw. Don't really have a choice. Yeah, this is the reality of the mono red deck, I'm afraid. Is that sometimes you'll just get god-awful draws. Gonna play the Reckless Impulse, see what we can find. I will just play out the Kumano faces Kakkazan. No attack's gonna end the turn. Shieldred, Graveyard Trespasser. Yeah, sure. I am just gonna block the Tenacious Underdog. There's another Shivan Devastator. Yeah, I think this is correct. Just gonna go through the air here, put our opponent down to 13. Like, again. Invoke Despair. Yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice the adversary here. I'm gonna lose 2 life as well. Jesus. I will pay good money to stop drawing lands. Yeah, we'll go to combat. Put our opponent down to 12. We just have to play it for 2 and pass the turn. And we're going to have to block next turn. It is what it is. We're not winning this. Down to 1. I'm gonna spoil it for you now. The mono red versus mono black matchup is awful. It's awful for mono red. I'm not gonna waste any time here. Opponent's going first, and on top of that, it's not great, is it? Like, high risk, high reward here is to keep and hope for a second mountain, but like 40% chance, less than 40% chance in each draw isn't great. So I'm gonna mulligan. I'm gonna keep this 6. It's not a good 6. It's really not a good 6. I've got to keep Mechanized Warfare. It's just too good. I've got to keep Reckless Impulse, play with fire. It is a land. It feels awful, but it is a land. Okay. Gonna play out the Kumano faces Kakkazan here. Hope we draw a creature. There's quite a few in the deck. Okay. Do I just play out the Reckless Impulse here? I don't think I do. I want to hold up. I have seen it all. Bottom, I really... Is it all non-land permanents? Oh no, it's Khan. I was thinking of Khan's Silex. Back up Mechanized Warfare, just like God intended. Like, yeah, if you want to do that, by all means. I'm going to play the Reckless Impulse as well. I didn't quite get what we wanted. But we're going to get 3 damage in, thanks to the Mechanized Warfare. Wow, what am I up against? What am I up against? We'll play the Reckless Impulse as well. Down to 12. Yeah, there's going to be some blinking nonsense with the Golden Argosy. It's going to be brutal. It's a shame we aren't really able to punish this. Let's see what we get off the Reckless Impulse. Okay, yeah. Put our opponent down to 10. Down to 9, sorry, because I can't count. What ways out of this do I have? Okay. We come back tapped, right? Sure. Three, 6, 7. Down to 2. Burn spell off the top wins this. Yeah. Down to 11. Yeah. Okay. I still have 2 Mishra's Foundries. And they come back tapped. Has my opponent just forgotten? Wow. Wow, was not expecting to win that. I think... I don't know what my opponent had in their hand. That deck looks sick. It really does. I'm a big fan of Golden Argosy, the card. But yeah, I don't know what happened there. Alright, well, on the play, we have some really nice openers to think about. Unlucky about the whole World Cup thing. You know, as an Englishman, I feel your pain. But, you know, it is what it is. Cuts me deeply. I actually watched the World Cup quarterfinal with a Frenchman, and I was hosting, and he came over, and yeah, when France scored their second goal, he literally did a knee slide all the way across my kitchen. It was something to behold. It really was. Okay, let's go. Monastery Swiftspear in for 1. Arrgh. Turn 2. I do think Feldon is the better turn 2 play here. Because Bloodthirsty Adversary does have that second ability, where you can pay 2 and a red. Obviously, we're a long way from that, but on top of that, if they do any damage to Feldon, then we can do some card selection, which is good. Tenacious Underdog. Cool. Very tenacious. I'm just going to put out the Phoenix Chick here. And the Bloodthirsty Adversary. Not going to attack with the Monastery Swiftspear. If they want to block there, that's more than fine. I don't want to give them the free kill on the Monastery Swiftspear. It's not worth pushing the extra 1 damage through. But if they want to kill Feldon right now, that's fine. Let's play with the Reckless Impulse. Cool. I'm not going to go for Kumano faces Kakkazan. The reason being is if they try to cut this down, I can go to their face with Play with Fire. Oh, it's tempting to do it anyway. They're clearly they're mana screwed. But no, I think I'm going to hold on to it for now. Yeah, I was right to do that. Down to 7. We have a Bloodthirsty Adversary available to us next turn. We have a Reckless Impulse we can get back from the graveyard. Soul Transfer. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll keep that land on top. Gonna pay without paying their mana costs. Yeah. So I can bring back the Play with Fire. I see it's to double check the wording on Bloodthirsty Adversary. But yeah, nice win. It's good. It's a good deck to punish slow draws. Like Mana Screw and Mana Flood are very real concepts in Magic the Gathering. And that's something this deck is really good at punishing. Okay, next game. Let's see if we can bounce back. We'll keep this. We have a nice Kumano faces Kakkazan into Feldon. It's unfortunate that we drew both our copies with Feldon, both have copies of Feldon, sorry. Reinforced Ronin. That tells me that we are playing the mono-red artifacts version of this deck, which is kind of cool. I did a really budget list with Dragon Spark Reactor, and it played things like that's perfect. That is perfect. Thank you, player. Let's see what we get. Got a few options here. I might go with Shivan Devastator. What's the saga on? 2? Yeah, we'll go with Shivan Devastator. Never underestimate the power of a 2/2 flyer in haste. And hey, if they want to use their mana to get rid of that, they can. Yeah, I'm gonna lightning strike this. I'll pay the life. I'm ahead, so I'm more than happy to do this. Gonna attack with both here. Put our opponent down to 8 and end the turn. And we've got 2 play with fires here. What are they gonna do? This Reckless Stormseeker can be a bit of a problem. I'll go down to 11. Okay, I'm going to take it. Going to play with fire here. Keep the land on top. Let's see. Let's play the Reckless Impulse, see what we get. Going to put our opponent down to 4. We have play with fire in hand, and we have another mountain. And they need to deal with the Shivan Devastator now. Yeah, hence why they're channeling. This feels good. This feels really good. I think Reinforced Ronin's an excellent card. Mechanized Warfare. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. Yeah, sorry about that, opponent. Alright, going first here. We'll keep it. Kumano into a turn 2 Shivan Devastator isn't great, but it is a play. Mono blue. Yeah, we need to push damage. Yeah, they've got Fading Hope. 100%, because otherwise, yeah. Kind of hoping they didn't have Fading Hope. Okay, Monastery Swiftspear. Much more interested in this resolving than the Bloodthirsty Adversary. That's fine. The reason being is that we have a lot more potential damage from the Swiftspear. Vortigin. Don't really like doing this. I think my opponent... What could be in my opponent's hand that they will play Vortigin on turn 3? You know what? No. I'm not going to run into a opponent's counterspell. I'm going to force them to have something. Impulse. Cool. Yeah, I think Shivan Devastator for 3 just puts my opponent under no pressure. Yeah, we'll do this again. End the turn. Yeah, that was correct. Like, just take advantage of the fact that opponent had already... What, they'd already played 2 Fading Hopes? No, 1 Fading Hope and a Make Disappear. But yeah. Mono Blue really struggles with... Outside of Fading Hope, Mono Blue really struggles with dealing with what's on the board. We got slightly lucky that we had Play with Fire and Lightning Strike in our hand, but, you know, them's the breaks. So look, this deck is... You're going to get a lot of games in. I've been recording for just under an hour now. I've played 14 games of Magic in that time. I went 8 and 6. As I previously mentioned, it's not the best against the mirror. We went 1 and 2 against the mirror. It's also not the best against mono black. I went 2-1 against mono black, which is very surprising. I don't think my opponents had the best draws in the entire world, I will be honest with you. But it was definitely a lot of fun. If I just look at my game times, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 8 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute. That 8-minute game, I just wanted to see my opponent do cool stuff, and it is what it is. So, what suggestions would I make for the deck moving forwards? If you're noticing a lot of mono red in the format, please put in the festivities. I would probably take out 2 Obliterating Bolts and 2 Thundering Raijus in order to play it. I think 3 Mishra's Foundry is about right, but don't be surprised when you get annoyed that you draw 2 when you could really do with double red for things like, oh, I don't know, Mechanized Warfare. The jury is still out on Shivan Devastator. I think that in sort of the bigger red decks, maybe, it'll be good, but I'm not convinced. But the flexibility of being able to play it on turn 2 with a Kumano out is nice. There is an argument that you could take these out and replace them with a Reckless Stormseeker. There we go. You could do that. That is definitely an option you've got. I'm surprised that 2 Feldon feels correct. So you can maybe do a third one, take out now Reckless Stormseeker, or take out a Shivan Devastator. But yeah, I think that's definitely a good call. In my 14 games, I did get to play Thundering Raiju once. Make of that what you will. Maybe it is worth taking out Thundering Raiju and putting back in the Shivan Devastators that we spoke about. Like so. Take this out, put 2 Shivan Devastators back in. That could be the deck that we go with moving forward. Squee is just... I moved the first version of this deck, played 2 copies of Squee before I started recording. It's not good right now, I don't think. It definitely looks like it should be, but I've been sort of underwhelmed by it. So yeah, that's my recommendations for mono red. Honestly, there's an argument you could also take out a Sokenzan, but you know, if you don't have... There's a lot of rares already in this deck, so it's not really budget. But if you're playing a budget deck and you see Sokenzan, maybe consider taking it out your budget red deck. That's all I would say on that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye-bye.